I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Shocking news. The prosecutor in the NaZiyah case has been linked to P. Diddy's case. Let's get started. Let me read my copyright disclaimer. Let me get the copyright disclaimer out of the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Let me welcome my Facebook family and friends to this demonstration. Let's see who we got down here in the chat. Salute Thankful. Salute Positive Vibes. Salute Perk. Give me 1 second, y'all, and let me welcome my Facebook family and friends. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to the chat. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to For Life. Salute Shauna. And if I could get everybody, well, actually, 80s baby's birthday is Monday. Her birthday is Monday. But her daughter reached out to me, and her daughter wants me to make a short video. And I said, why? What better way to make the video for 80s baby is to do it on a platform. So if I could get everybody in the chat to throw up some happy birthdays for 80s baby, throw up some ice cream, some cake, and some hot dogs. We wishing you a speedy recovery and happy birthday, 80s baby. Salute Stephanie. Salute Allison. Let me get these. My Facebook people on here, y'all. Give me 1 second. Now, what does P. Diddy? What does P. Diddy? What does Kim Worthy has to do with baby oil man P. Diddy? You know, this thing to me is really, really shocking, because just when you thought that you heard it all, here comes something else. So I'm saying to myself, salute Londa. I'm saying to myself, what do Detroit, Michigan? What does Kim Worthy? And we're going to get into that. Salute Angelique. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute. And if it's any male or female that would like to come up on the panel and tell their story, if it's any of you all, male or female, that has been sexually assaulted, and if y'all would like to join me on the panel to tell y'all story, I will be dropping the link a little later on in this demonstration. Feel free to join me on the panel if you would like to come forward and tell your story. Salute Darlindria. Salute Lisa. I see the chat. Salute Lisa. Let me start off by saying it's never your fault. It's never your fault. If someone has took advantage of you, if someone has sexually assaulted you, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. No matter what you wear. I remember many years ago, men that would sexually assault women, they would blame it on the women. They would blame it on what the women was wearing. Well, if she wasn't wearing what she was wearing, then, you know, it wouldn't have tempted me. She wouldn't have tempted me. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. A woman should be able to wear whatever she wants to wear. I've even heard some cases where men have said just because the woman spoke to him, she gave him suggestions, she gave him he was under the assumption that she wanted him. No male or woman has the right to sexually assault a child, a woman, or a man. It's just, it's unheard of. Now, when we think about the NaZiyah Harris case, it touched a lot of us. I mean, it touched a lot of us. For her family to have been aware of it. The mother, Miss Annette, she definitely was aware of it. Shannon, those two were definitely aware of what was being done to NaZiyah Harris. Salute, Tammy. Salute, Tammy. And we've listened to several females come up on this panel to tell their tragic story on how most of them went to their mother. Most of the victims went to their mother, and the mother did not believe them. It's sad. It's a sad, sad day. And the cold thing about it is, this isn't nothing new. This has been going on for centuries. It's been going on. You know, it's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, probably thousands and thousands of years. Most of these cases, the woman don't want to lose her man. Ain't no man that good enough. Ain't no man worth you not doing the right thing by your child. Salute, Yolanda. Now, after digging deeper into this NaZiyah Harris case, I've came up with a lot of interesting information. I'm sitting on some serious information, and I will be releasing this information piece by piece. Salute, Shari. Salute, Shari. Salute, Self-Made. Salute, Self-Made. I will be releasing some of this information that I'm sitting on. I've had several people from family. I've had friends. I've had people in the neighborhood. I've had a lot of close people in the NaZiyah Harris case reach out to me. Salute, Lisa. Salute, Lisa. Salute, Coy D. Salute, Coy D. Appreciate you falling up. Salute, everybody. Now, this information with the prosecutor, Kim Worthy. Salute, Capricorn Chronicles. Salute. 1 minute in the video, or 1 minute, Kim Worthy says that the investigation is closed. The investigation is over with. We have the suspect that we're going to be charging, and that suspect is Jarvis Butts. But then in another breath, she says that there's more people that's going to be prosecuted. See, one thing I know about when covering these cases, you can always go back. You can always backtrack and find something that you did not pick, or just something that went over your head. And that's why I always tell people backtrack. And that's why I'm constantly backtracking things, because when I heard it, but then, you know, as I'm listening, and I'm like, well, I thought she said that Jarvis was the one suspect. They wasn't going to be investigating nothing else, or the case was closed. But then she comes back and says other people will be charged. Salute Tudor, salute Tudor, salute my boo, salute no cat, salute no cat. Appreciate y'all. But enough of me yapping off at the mouth. Let's go to Kim. Let's go to Kim Worthy. Salute to everybody that's pulling up by way of TikTok as well. Salute to all of my followers, subscribers, and friends on all of my social media platforms.
Thinking about the victim whose case is getting ready to try, wondering how they spent their last weeks, their last days, their last hours, and their last minutes of their lives. What were they thinking about? Did they know that the end was near? And if it was someone they knew, what must they have been thinking as they were shot, stabbed, or whatever mechanism of death was used and confronted them with by the person they knew or loved? I can't imagine the thought that goes through minds. But it's always 1,000 times worse when the person is a child or a baby, someone in the dawn of their lives who haven't begun to live their lives. The picture behind me is of NaZiyah, and that will always be haunting because it was taken just a short time before the evidence shows that she was never seen or heard from again.
Now I'm gonna stop it right there, and I want everybody to really pay close attention. Salute, who we got down here? Salute Sharon. Salute Sharon. Appreciate you for pulling up. Salute Sharon. Salute Miss Parker. Salute. Shari says, I really believe Jarvis told on his accomplices. Just a gut feeling I had. Now, see, here's the thing with Jarvis, and this is what we've proved. This is what all of the content creators and subscribers, this is what we all have been, this is what, well, let me not say we all. Salute Grisky, salute Grisky. This is what most of us believe. Most of us believe, all right? Salute Miss Wisher Ninja Wood. Most of us believe that is bigger than Jarvis. Drop a one in the chat if you believe that this is bigger than Jarvis. Drop a 2 if you disagree. So drop a 1 if you think it's bigger than Jarvis. Drop a 2 if you disagree. I believe that it's bigger than Jarvis. For the simple fact, CPS had a case, right? CPS had a case with Jarvis' name in it. Jarvis, a known serial child R. CPS got the paperwork. Salute Alicia. Salute Lady B. Salute Lady B. Then I believe in the DPD, Detroit Police Department, they came out and they said that they made a mistake. They dropped the ball. Why? Why? Why do y'all think they dropped that ball? Well, and I'm going to get to the Dark Smith. Y'all know the dude in Michigan. It's a guy that's in Michigan that got a case against PDiddy. He got a case against PDiddy, right? Kim Worthy's name is in that affidavit. Salute Talk with Prince. It seems that people on the Detroit Police Department, prosecutors and them, they were in P. Diddy's pocket. They were on the tape. P. Diddy was paying them off. But I'm going to get to that. Salute Almighty Stream. Salute Almighty Stream. I'm going to come back to the chat, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm going to come back to the chat. Let me get deeper into this demonstration. Salute everybody in the chat. I will come back to the chat. Let me get deeper into this demonstration, y'all.
It was taken by NaZiyah herself, a selfie. That's the last known picture that we know about of her. And it was pointed out to me by one of the detectives on this case and by one of the prosecutors. She is smiling, waving, saying hello. But little did she know that she was really saying goodbye. We will provide to you later a very skeleton timeline of the time right before her death, before and after. Of course, the detail would be provided in court. The evidence shows overwhelmingly in this case that she is in fact deceased. The last time she was seen alive was January the 9th of this year, 2024.
Now I want to stop right there. Appreciate that super chat, Ms. Parker. I want to stop right there. And the reason why I want to stop right there is because, and salute Keish 47, salute Bird. Are we going off of what Kim Worthy has said? According to Kim Worthy, NaZiyah Harris is deceased. Now, if you had a chance to check out my demonstration with Kenya, Roxy's mother, and I asked her, I said, what proof? Can you give me a receipt? Can you give me some kind of evidence on why you feel as though NaZiyah is no longer alive? And she said, Kim Worthy. And as I said before, I don't want to be the one to rain on nobody's parade. I pray, and I'm praying. Even now, you know, I believe in miracles. I'm gonna keep it 100. I do believe in miracles. So even with the evidence that they have, and I'm going to be going over the evidence because they do have evidence. And even though they may not have a body, they do have substantial evidence. They got the clothing items that she was wearing. You know, I believe holes, I believe blood stains in those clothing items that she was wearing. And I know we could be like, but Shank, somebody else could have been wearing it. Shank, Shannon and Jarvis and them, they could have staged all of that. They could have did that to make it seem like, you know, she's deceased, and they could have, you know, sold her into sex trafficking ring. I'm with y'all on all of the above. But I like to stick to what people say out their mouth. And if you just pulled up, let me backtrack, Kim, and let's just listen to Kim.
For her death, before and after. Of course, the detail would be provided in court. We will provide to you later a very skeleton timeline of the time right before her death, before.
They're gonna show a timeline, but they're waiting till trial. And this is common. This is what happens in most trials. The prosecutor, they hold on. They don't leak out that evidence, and it's for reasons. And I'm just going off of what Kim is saying.
But little did she know that she was really saying goodbye. We will provide to you later a very skeleton timeline of the time right before her death, before and after. Of course, the detail would be provided in court. The evidence shows overwhelmingly in this case that she is in fact deceased. The last time she was seen alive was January the 9th of this year, 2024, almost 9 months ago. Her missing status was reported to the Detroit Public School Police Department by her grandmother on that very day when she never returned home from school.
Now, let's backtrack, y'all. Let's backtrack. Because maybe, did y'all hear that? Did she say that? Did she say that her grandmother reported her missing on the same day that she went missing? I gotta backtrack. Did drop a three if y'all heard her say the grandmother reported her on the day that she went missing, because according to the phone call with Florentino and Mark D, Florentino did say that his mother reported it to the Detroit Police Department at 4:20 that day. Salute, Miss G. Let me backtrack this. That's why I say it's very important that we backtrack things. Let's backtrack. Let me backtrack.
Time she was seen alive was January the 9th of this year, 2024, almost 9 months ago. Her missing status was reported to the Detroit Public School Police Department by her grandmother on that very day.
Wow. Miss Annette, well, see, okay, all right. Let me read some comments real quick. I honestly don't believe she's here anymore because I feel if Jarvis is facing a M charge, he would have spoken up by now and told them where she was. And just his Jarvis's attorney would have ate that up at the preliminary. That's what the preliminary is for. And Jarvis's attorney would have ate that up. You know, so I'm with you on that, Grisky. But she stated, did y'all hear? Let me, because I don't want to skip. Thankful me, I don't want to skip a comment. We're gonna have to come back to that. Shari says, I have faith in God as well, and I really pray that someone has this baby taking care of her. Tudor says, on another note, ain't nobody fitting to go down for an M charge if the alleged isn't M and just traffic it somewhere. I'm sure. Just, I mean, come on, who wants to go down for that? And you know, she ain't deceased. He ain't deceased. You know that she's not deceased. All right, I take the SA. I take them charges, or I deal with the sexual charges, but I ain't about to deal with the M charge because that person is still alive. I can prove to you that person's still alive. Jarvis would have been said something. Jarvis, trust me. I don't know nobody that wants to go down for an M. I don't know nobody that wants to go down for an M. But let me, because does George Harris have anything to do with this case? I'm gonna get to that. Salute, Miss Belinda. Salute, Miss Belinda. That's why I always say it's best to tell the truth, because the truth never needs help, but a lie needs help. Now, I got to come back to this, y'all. So, is Kim Worthy? So, we got Kim Worthy, right? All right. Precious says, they stated that at the preliminary hearing, she reported her missing on the 10th. And that said it on the stand while testifying. Right, but we just heard Kim Worthy, and it can happen. It can happen, but we just heard Kim Worthy say that the grandmother and that reported it on the day she went missing. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the day that she went missing was January the 9th. Appreciate this super chat, Truly Ashante. Truly Ashante says, I'm working, just dropping in to show love. The timelines is all over the place. I think Grandma was setting the stage to cover up. I think Annette, Shannon, and Jarvis are most definitely involved. Stay right there. Stay right there. because this is where I've been at, truly, Ashante, and this is where I believe we all have been at. And at Shannon and Jarvis, right? But what is making her, or what made her say that, and that reported it on the 9th? Y'all can help me out with this, because once again, I've heard this, but it never dawned on me that Kim Worthy said that Miss Annette reported it on the day that she went missing. That would be the 9th. And we heard Florentino on the phone call with Mark D. He said, my mother reported NaZiyah missing at 4:20. But why would Miss Annette on the stand say she waited till the next day to report her? I smell a rat in this case, and I smell a big rat. I smell a big rat in this case. Hopefully she misspoke and didn't do that on purpose. Okay, but remember, everybody, let's just keep that in mind. We want to keep that in mind. Salute, Nisi. We want to keep that in mind, because with Kim Worthy being named, how many of y'all have been following the Baby Oil Man case, P. Diddy's case? How many of y'all have been following that? And the dude, Dark Smith, that's doing time in Michigan, y'all know he got a sexual assault case against Baby Oil Man. And he mentioned Kim Worthy, police. Matter of fact, let me get through this so I could get to his case. Let me get through this, y'all. Let me get through this.
When she never returned home from school. And again, that was January the 9th, 2024. In early February of 2024, the case was turned over to the Detroit Police Department. Frankly, that should have happened right away, but they began investigating immediately. The evidence would further show that through text messages that we know, and on January the 9th, we know that she did indeed meet up with the defendant that we're charging in this case. We also know that several people close to Mr. Butts, who we were charging later, saw them together in several different locations, people that he knew well. We have evidence that at 9:30 p.m. on that day, that Mr. Butts checked into a motel and the NaZiyah was never seen or heard from again.
All right. Miss G says, our kids in Detroit gets out of school at 3:20. How would she know she was missing at 4:20? It doesn't make sense. Exactly. Mr. Shank, I totally agree with you. I smell a rat. Exactly, Miss G. I also believe Jarvis' sister stated she never saw NaZiyah's face, however, saw the light come on, which means it was dark. But King, baby mother, say when they came, it was lights. It's not adding up. I think she's lying. Salute, Top Flight. Salute. Wow, y'all. Wow. Let me fast forward to Baby Oil Man. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Wow. We got some homework to do. Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. Salute Street T. Salute Street T. Salute Anita. I think they're all working together. Salute Samantha. I'm Free Warren. And if I missed y'all, I apologize. Salute everybody. Salute to the chat. Let me see. Yeah, Grisky says, yeah, the fact she said she didn't see NaZiyah's face never made sense to me either, especially if she claimed she kept getting out of the car. Give me a second, everybody. Oh, okay. All right. Let me come away from That's not what I want. Let me come out of this, y'all. Let me come out of this. Let me see. I think I got it right here. No, that's not it. This story is crazy, Miss Parker. When this goes to trial, it's going to blow the internet wide open, because what family act like this? Exactly. That's exactly truly Ashanti. Ms. Parker says, that's why it doesn't make sense, because how come she didn't? Let's see. Yeah, this thing is deep, y'all. Parker says, truly it's going to be an epic trial for sure. It is. And I hope that I'm able to make it to that trial. Pensy says, Shank, Kimani Latique open casket walkthrough tomorrow, not today, 4 to 7. I'm going to talk to Dale's funeral. Hit me just now. Okay, appreciate you, Pensy. Appreciate you, Pensy. And that's another case as well. These cases, I'm all over the place, y'all. Bear with me. What is this? Because they have their hands deep into the elected and the unknown. I am like. Boy, everybody want to get in touch with me all of a sudden now. What was that? That's not it. That's not it. Okay. All right. Let me run this, y'all.
Derek Lee Cardello Smith with the
struggling with complicated content and editing software? I was too. Riverside really simplified things. Riverside
prisoner in the
All right, here we go.
Diddy has just been hit with his worst case yet. Diddy has just been accused of paying police officers and prosecutors to lie on his behalf and get people arrested for false crimes. The Michigan inmate, Derek Lee Cardello Smith, who filed a lawsuit against Diddy, now submitted affidavits from prosecutors, police officers, and more saying that Diddy set him up and put him in prison. Derek Lee Cardello Smith filed a lawsuit against Diddy, claiming that he was SA'd by Diddy all the way back in 1997. And in his lawsuit, he was trying to subpoena J-Lo and Kirk Burrows on his behalf, saying that they knew this allegedly happened to him. He was claiming that J-Lo was a material witness because of her relationship with Diddy from 1999 to 2001, because he is alleging that his essay was recorded, distributed, and held by Diddy at his New York residence. And he was alleging during J-Lo's relationship with Diddy, she was made privy to the video that was taken by Diddy and his employee Kirk Burrows of this essay, which is honestly wild now to bring back up because Kirk Burrows just filed his lawsuit against Diddy like 2 weeks ago, and some of these allegations are kind of similar.
Now, watch and listen when she gets to the prosecutors, the polices, and you're going to hear her mention Kim Worthy.
And if you think this is crazy, just wait, because it gets a lot crazier. Yesterday, Derek Lee Cardello Smith just filed a new lawsuit with Diddy named in this lawsuit, but it's for habeas corpus. He is alleging that he was falsely imprisoned because of Diddy. He says that Sean Combs framed me, and this is my petition seeking release from custody. He said a Detroit police officer named Nicole Rabber has submitted an affidavit on March 5th of 2025 alleging her role, where she said that she had been working with Sean Combs and she was paid to frame him, and she admitted her role in the form of this affidavit attached. And this is the affidavit from the police officer. She says, "My name is Nicole Rabber, and I am an officer who authorized the police report in the city of Detroit on January 13th of 2008 against Derek Lee Cardello Smith, a current prisoner in the Michigan Department of Corrections." And the crazy part is he also has an affidavit from the woman that the police officer is talking about too, saying that she lied and she was also allegedly paid by Diddy to lie. She said, "I was ordered to make a false police report against Mr. Cardello Smith by Sean John Combs, or P. Diddy, Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, Suzette Samuels, assistant Wayne County prosecutor, Jose Ortiz, a detective at Detroit Police Department. I was paid a total of $132,000 in cash by Sean John Combs to issue the false police report of the kidnapping and SA against Derek Lee Cardello Smith."
Wow. Salute Sagittarius. Salute Sagittarius. Deeper down the rabbit hole. Salute Sagittarius. Salute Precious. Okay, you in Baltimore? Wow. Salute Blue Devil G. Now I gotta run that back. And y'all help me out with this. Did y'all hear what I heard? No Cat says, "Now how did she get a refrigerator like that?" This thing is so deep. So many new videos has surfaced with NaZiyah. So many new pictures. This is so deep. It is. But the fact that Kim Worthy, along with others, was on P. Diddy's take. Pensy says, "Shank, I said that because it's supposed to be today. Kimani, I'm still going to see Granny, keeps changing." That's these. What's up with these families? What's up with these families? Let me backtrack this again, y'all. Jarvis and King was talking in code on that jail call, and why use that first free call to call King? Facts. This whole case is turning out to be an onion. Rewatch that video, no cap, you will definitely see it. Ms. Parker says, right. Let me backtrack this, y'all. because I keep coming up. Every time I listen, I just be like, damn, I missed that. I missed that.
Suzette Samuels, assistant Wayne County prosecutor, Jose Ortiz, a detective at Detroit Police Department. I was paid a total of $130. Smith, a current prisoner in the Michigan Department of Corrections. And the crazy part is he also has an affidavit from the woman that the police officer is talking about too, saying that she lied and she was also allegedly paid by Diddy to lie. She said, I was ordered to make a false police report against Mr. Cardello Smith by Sean John Combs or P. Diddy, Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, Suzette Samuels, assistant Wayne County prosecutor.
I was forced to make a false affidavit by Kim Worthy. Wow.
Also has an affidavit from the woman that the police officer is talking about too, saying that she lied and she was also allegedly paid by Diddy to lie. She said, I was ordered to make a false police report against Mr. Cardello Smith by Sean John Combs or P. Diddy, Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, Suzette Samuels, assistant Wayne County prosecutor, Jose Ortiz, a detective at Detroit Police Department.
Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm gonna have to backtrack it again, y'all. I'm gonna have to backtrack this again. We got a lot of fam like this in Baltimore. Shout out to all my people from my hometown, Baltimore. Shout out to all of my hometown people from Baltimore. Let me know where y'all representing. Let me know what city and state you from. Let me know what city and state you live in. It's bigger than what we think. Salute, Eno. Salute, Eno. Salute, Arizona, way of Baltimore. Yes, salute. Salute, Pebbles. Salute, Pebbles. It just blows my mind, y'all. It really blows my mind. I'm going to have to backtrack this, y'all. I might have to backtrack this a couple more times. Y'all just bear with me. As Squeak would say, it was all a play. Truly Ashanti says in my Squeak's voice, it was all a play. Yes, yes. Salute, Neek. Salute. Shout out to all my people in Indiana. Shout out to all my people in Indiana. Let's backtrack, y'all.
Department of Corrections. And the crazy part is he also has an affidavit from the woman that the police officer is talking about too, saying that she lied and she was also allegedly paid by Diddy to lie. She said, I was ordered to make a false police report against Mr. Cardello Smith by Sean John Combs or P. Diddy, Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, Suzette Samuels, assistant Wayne County prosecutor, Jose Ortiz, a detective at Detroit Police Department. I was paid a total of $132,000 in cash by Sean John Combs to issue the false police report of the kidnapping and SA against Derek Lee Cardello Smith.
Wow. 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 And let me give this young lady a shout out, Khadisha Lynn. If anyone is interested in where I got this clip from, I got it from Khadisha Lynn. Diddy's biggest case, police cover-ups and money schemes. Wow. Wow. I don't know which way to go, y'all. Let me jump to my chat and see what my chat talking about. Shout out to all my people from South Carolina, Michigan, Florida. Tyson says we need to start seeing receipts and not just hearsay. The attack on innocence. I just can't understand the worldwide attack and assault on our youth. Right. Here's my thing. When it comes to, especially nowadays, but I feel like it was always like this. I feel like it was always like this. There are plenty of people out here. You got, let's start at the bottom of the totem pole. You got people that are on drugs that will have all kind of sexual activities with you for as low as $20. Why? I mean, let's come up some. You got men and women that's into whatever sexual activities you're into. There are many women and men out here. There are all kind of dating apps. I can never understand why resort to sexually assaulting someone. Shout out to all my people from Maryland. My family is in Rock Hill, who is from, I used to live in Rock Hill, Precious. I used to live in Rock Hill. Shout out to all my people in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Salute Diamond Minded. Shout out to all my people in Flint, Michigan. You got homo sleeping around for a place to stay. I mean, come on. Come on. You can't understand because you are not sick, Shank. True that. True that. And here's the thing. You got men that's in the PDiddy status. Let's look at Baby Oil Man. Let's look at Baby Oil Man. Right? Shout out to all my people from Illinois. We got Baby Oil Man. We got Puff Daddy. What woman or man, what woman or man wouldn't be willing to get down with Baby Oil Man? No excuse at all, Baby Oil Man. No excuse. Shout out to my people from Brooklyn, New York up in here. Blue Devil says, I'm in Rock Hill. Shout out to all my people in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Truly Ashanti says, give me a minute, y'all. Jarvis might be a Baby Oil Man too. Good point. Good point. And see, let's talk about Jarvis. Let's talk about Jarvis. I see you, Capricorn. Let's talk about Jarvis. Jarvis had his way with the women. And y'all heard Kenya herself when I asked Kenya about Jarvis. And Kenya isn't the only female that feel that way about Jarvis. There are a lot of women that feel that way about Jarvis. Look at his baby mothers, right? Look at the fiance. So it's not like Jarvis had a problem with getting women. Shank, I believe NaZiyah's in, I can't pronounce that, Pensy. Some women, so you know what, Matthias, they don't see signs that these predators are looking at the kids. They all lube lovers. Salute Dream Chase. Appreciate you for pulling up. The title just took me out. Yeah, because Kim Worthy, now I have to look at Kim Worthy different now. Because what in the hell was Kim Worthy doing on the tape with Baby Oil Man? Man, this thing. Hey, my mommy is from Chester. Uh-oh. Chester is something. Shout out to all my people down there in Chester. I know some folks down there in Chester as well. It has to be a sickness or evil or both. Sagitt says, I don't get it, big bro. There are tons of beautiful girls in the world. I mean, you get all of them till you die. So why do you have to be like the Baby Oil Man? No, it doesn't make sense. Anita says, Diddy tapes runs deep. He got bad stuff on everyone. I see, Anita. I see. All of them built like some Suburbans. They were women who weren't confident with themselves. Salute, Alma. Salute, Alma. My mama is something. Wow. Truly Ashanti says it's a sickness. Salute, brother NaZiyah. Salute, brother NaZiyah. I'm gonna drop the link at this time. If it's anyone that would like to tell their story, if it's anyone out there that has been sexually assaulted and would like to tell their story, please join me on the panel. Please click on the link. Truly Ashanti says Jarvis used his looks and weak-minded women with low self-esteem. Taja says, you must be up there with the devil to be like the baby oil man. Miss G says, I don't know, because Kim Worthy has been a strict prosecutor for years. I would need receipts. And I'm going to work on that. Like I said, I'm sitting on a lot of crucial information. And I just gotta see how I want to bring it to you all. Pensy says, wasn't abused, may I speak? Come on up. Come on up. Even if you haven't been abused and you would like to join me on the panel, come on up. Click the blue StreamYard link. Lisa says, sidebar. Knowledge of working in a shop is a cover-up because I don't believe it wouldn't be a concern as early as 420 without checking the shop first. Precious says, sometimes we can get through it or type it, but can't let it cross our lips. If you would like to join me on the panel, feel free to come on up. Talk to me, Pensy.
As well. I'm going to still see if the funeral home for Kamani is just saying what the grandmother wants her to say, because in Toledo, and I'm in Toledo right now visiting some things, and because I want to see, I take these things very, very seriously. I'm a mother of 4, and my father was brutally murdered, and I was thrown out of my atmosphere, because of that, and my mother being a young married woman. So I know, even though she had her problems, and I hope I'm not sounding too loud, because I always sound loud, but I can't hear you all. You shake as loud on my end because I can't use my Bluetooth to hear you, or I'll start staticking.
You sound good. You sound good.
Okay. Yeah, I see, but you're low. You low on my end. It doesn't matter how much I turn my end up. I'm loud, but I can't hear you the same. And I don't know how to see the chat. Like, but I don't need to see the chat literally, because I'm talking to you and you'll let me know if somebody's asking something. So to make a long story short, I've always been very sympathetic because I am also a victim of cold case files. You understand? Because my father was brutally murdered at a young age, and it really shook up my life and my siblings' lives. I'm the youngest of 3, and however, I did lose a sister, which that's irrelevant. But the thing is, I still stayed on Detroit neck about my father being a cold case file. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? And still they're nowhere. So Detroit, I'm just saying this to say as well, Detroit PD, they so lazy, not only lazy, that family members always constantly get family members and family members and family members to go and get them speedy through there to become these so-called cops, where nobody has the mental capacity to really actually go through the training, because they just so rogue and corrupt in Detroit. I can only speak from where I was born and raised, part of the time at, you know, that it's always been corrupt. And then our people, and I am gonna say it like this, Shay, because I have to. And I don't care who gets upset about it. Our people are the worst to us in the city. When I grew up in the city, it was still a community. All the big families lived on the block. Everybody knew each other on the block. Everybody was still having children, and it was respected with each other in our community. When they stretched that out and start coming up and down and through there, and I'm talking 1975, because see, I was born in 1970. So I hope no young girls up in the chat trying to challenge me, because I will be 55 years old in July. I'm a 1970s baby. And I don't play these games, I win them. Okay? And I don't have to tell everything that's on my mind when I greet a chat or even I come to a chat. I'm here for Kamani's funeral. And they saying that it's supposed to be today. And I'm still going, even though they're saying now it's been switched till tomorrow, and that it's a walkthrough, and they're saying an open casket. I want to see now that the grandmother won custody of her body, which I feel she's a very guilty part. I feel like it's so many similarities that is so wicked when it comes to our people being cursed down. And it's not one family, it's our family as a whole. How is it all these similarities that's going on with NaZiyah and this baby at the same time? But even babies that's further out than this. These are not the only two. I definitely pay attention to what's going on to our children, and how can we protect them, and how can we guide them. I have this to say, and I hope it's being respected to say it, because I am a mother of 4. All of my children, my last one is graduating high school this year. All my other 3 children, 2 of them went through college already. One graduated 2 years early. The other one is in college right now. This son is getting ready to go to college. I was married twice. One of my children has her own father. My other 3 children, their father doesn't want to be in their life. He remarried. That's his choice. However, my children are still succeeding. So I don't want to hear that bullshit about a single mother can't do what she does. A single mother can do what she does, and she can still raise children and let them know what community and love and family values are. However, we can't control what they get involved in once they leave the home. When we start trying to buck up against them, they're going to buck harder up against us. They have to still have their roles. When we're talking about protecting our children, we know who was protecting children and who wasn't, because it wouldn't be a history of so many diabolical things that is coming with these family members. They even look alike to me. It's like, it's crazy. It's like, were they migrating to Toledo? Are they blind? I mean, it's just too much. But however, like I said, they're changing the date still. And I'm in Toledo ready to go see. I'm here now. And I'm still going to see if it was off for Kamani or if it wasn't. Because it's a whole lot of BS going on. And I'm going to be there for NaZiyah's trial. And I will report to you, Shane, and let you know. And I will have as much footage as I can and get your email through the chat and let you know. I'm not playing. This ain't play. I'm so sick and tired of our children being destroyed and being, not thought of as being human. And also our family members that are allowing this BS to go on. We're starting to be our worst enemies in our own houses. And this is not okay. It's not okay. I want to see them. And I want to see these people. I don't know them, but I'm going to watch. And I'm going to know what the Most High God going to let me know what I need to see. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to send it to you. And then I'm going to be done with it. And I'm going to keep praying that this baby will, after her body stops traveling so much, that she will reach the light and that this baby will not be stuck here in chaos and confusion still because her spirit can't rest. And with that, Shane, I yield. I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Ms. Belinda says, why no content creators has dug deep into Butt's background, family, his mother, father, sister, where they come from. Remember, he was touched at 13. Let's go to the roots, y'all. And that's a good point. And as I said, I'm sitting on some information. I can't tell y'all at this time what information it is, but I'm sitting on some information. So just give me a minute or two to present it to you all. But when it comes to Jarvis, why wasn't the woman that sexually assaulted him, why wasn't she prosecuted? Salute, Precious Metal.
Exactly.
Salute, Precious Metal.
Exactly. I'm sorry, Shane. I don't mean to butt in, but please allow me to iterate on that. I get so sick of people acting like it's
Wait a minute,
okay
I
for
got
women
exit.
to sexually abuse young boys. Women are pedophiles too. People don't want to say it out loud like that. Women can be pedophiles too. Stop with the crap. And most of the time, men use women to lure the children because the women are the ones that's nurturing and more convincing in the situation. Am I lying, Shane?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
And that pisses me off even more when women try and play on my head top because I can see that shit a mile away. When, no, something ain't right with her and her around the children. I actually watch women more around children than I do men. And then people would think I'm crazy for that, Shane. Shane, you understand? Because she just must just only, she favor men. She must, no, I favor fairness. And I know women lead. We are the birthers, okay? We are the nurturers. We are the most convincing. And most times, I'm not saying men can't convince women to do anything, but living in the jail in the times that we live, am I lying? I'm gonna leave it right there. All this BS. Even when women be acting like they care so much about this baby, they ain't shit. They ain't shit either because they ain't doing shit with their kids. They ain't doing shit with their children. They sitting up talking all day and they ain't doing shit. I don't have to prove who I am and what I am. My children prove it for me. I'm not a grandmother yet. My last one is turning 18 this year. My children are 35, 25, 20, and getting ready to turn 18. And I'm still not, I want to be not a grandmother, a grandma. Don't call, I'm Gigi. I cannot wait if I survive the times we live in shape to be called a grandmother. I'm the grand.
Pensy, I gotta let my new guest come on, all right? And then I'm gonna let you come back on after she finished, Pensy. Salute, Precious. Salute, Precious.
Salute, Rock Squad. Hey, Shank. I mean, I was listening to what she was saying. It's absolutely true. Like, I have 3 boys, 1 girl. My girl is the youngest. She is 17. My oldest boy is 29. My next is 27. And after that, Shiloh, Oh, McKinley is 18. I have no grandchildren. And that's not to say, people with grandchildren, have done the wrong things with their children. I just say that to say I've watched mine extra closely. My sons don't have any arrest records. And that's hard, Shank, in Baltimore. That's hard. No grandkids, no arrest records. That's hard. My 2 oldest graduated. The next one is about to, and then I have one that's about to come right behind him. And it's just sad that a lot of the children aren't getting the consideration and the start that a minute amount of kids are getting. They are either being attacked by family members, boyfriends, girlfriends, because women do things too. They have illnesses just as well. And that runs rampant here in Baltimore, Shank, where people do stuff in these big families and then they hide it. They hiding it. They don't want, Big Mama don't want you to tell on her son. Big Mama, you know what I mean? You can't tell on your uncle. Everybody know, but you ain't allowed to tell. And that's the big problem. And sometimes, like I wrote in the chat, we can get through it. We can get over it. We can even type it. But to open your mouth and express it is a whole nother animal. Honestly, it's a whole nother animal. I personally know people that have held it for upwards of 40-something years. Still ain't told. Wouldn't be able to tell if they tried. We just need to take bigger responsibility as parents. And not just parents. Like when my kids, my boys would go somewhere, I'm responsible for the kids they with too. Because they're with my children. My children got to act accordingly. And it starts, early. Because if you don't start it early, they grow up. They go from being adolescent monsters to adult monsters. And the adult monsters attack our adolescents and turn them into monsters too. It's got to be somewhere where we can start and say, we need some conflict resolution against this attack against our babies. I mean, the world is bad enough, what happens to adults, women and men that are sexually assaulted, as adults trying to process that. It is almost impossible to process that as a child. First of all, you're introduced to something that you ain't never, what is that? And then to be made to be quiet about something that you're confused about, that you want to ask somebody about, it is almost impossible to process that as a child. And then to be a pregnant child, come on. And then to be a pregnant child that is in constant danger, not only from the predator, but from the loved ones that's supposed to take care of you. That I can't even imagine. I can, her life had to be worse than her being in peace at this point. I'm looking at the grandmother. I'm looking at the mother. I mean, the auntie, the boyfriend. I know it was other children that have been bothered in their household, and that's what they need to do. They need to check on those children because those children are in danger.
She is not lying. May I please intervene while she just walked away
Yes,
from the
ma'am,
camera?
please do.
She is absolutely right. It's not the first time. This is not the first time. This is a cover up. If we think about what's going on with Kamani, then just now that this exploded, we have to remember that look at all the things that's coming out now about this Dorothy woman, that they're talking about that children and pregnant children have even became somehow unalive. And also, what about this factor? This is the part that really got me, because they call that the east side of Toledo, which is so disgusting. However, they said that the house she was found in, Dorothy used to own it. And why was Dorothy the first one to say that's where her body was at when she lived in that house, when the pregnant girl came up dead that they never found, and then Kamani ended up in the same abandoned, burned up house. Make that make sense.
That was Kamani's great grandmother's house. You are right. You are right. And what kind of, I don't believe in coincidences like that. I don't believe in coincidences. Not like that. Not like that. That is absolutely okay. I'm not going to say it's impossible for that to be a coincidence. I'm just going to say it's improbable that is a coincidence. You're not going to tell me that. Either that boy knew enough about that grandmother to notice and figured he would do that as like, to throw them off the track in case they did find her, because he couldn't get her nowhere, far enough. So maybe he figured, that would put the heat on that family. But I'm really, in my mind, I'm thinking something happened between him and that lady. Okay. I feel like it was something happened between him and that lady, because I go off of body language. I'm from Baltimore. You know what I mean? I go off of body language. Oh, yeah. I'm watching how
May
you
I please
walking.
agree with her? May I please agree with Precious Metal again, Shank, on this part? I agree. I do too. I watch that body language, and I watch how people react to certain things. Nobody was reacting the way that it seems like you will react if you found out any family member 13 and under, let alone just any family member, they could be 13 and over, was found in such a gruesome way that they're describing. So I'm totally in agreement with Precious Metal, and I'm appreciating that you are, I didn't drop down and I stayed up here with her, because she is saying the same thing that's coming from my heart. This is not a first time situation. I feel like Donnell and Dorothy, they've been together rocking different scenarios for this situation. And with that, I'm gonna yield and let Miss Precious Metal finish what she's saying.
Mother's intuition that mirrors each other. Why wouldn't they? And they right there.
Turn your water off.
Why wouldn't they? They know the child. We only know what we're reading. We only know what information we're researching. You know what I mean? What information is being reported. But if off of that information, we're coming to the same conclusion, why wouldn't they? If they were armed with the information that we're armed with, plus more, why didn't they? Her mother included. Because that biological mother does not get a pass.
She don't know her mother don't get a pass because of the fact that right before this happened, we have to remember that this woman said, flat out period, right before Kimani passed away, and she hadn't seen her since 11, that when Dorothy let her come to see her for her birthday, that she's paying $900 a month in child support, and she was still broke, but she did whatever she could do to still see Kamani for that same weekend. Now, see, that right there still rocked my head. And she got other children that shouldn't be in her custody. I'm talking about Kamani's mama.
Exactly. I feel like when they found Kamani's body, she was putting on a show. I felt like she was outside putting on a show for that camera. And I say that because and everybody is different. But if I'm looking at a building waiting for somebody to possibly bring out my missing child's body, I am not going to be telling a camera how I'm suffering from seizures, how I'm not sleeping, how this, how that about me. That would be the furthest thing from my mind and my lips. My eyes will be trained on that house.
I agree with you. You damn right. Let me agree with you on that. Because first of all, if my children, the 3 that are even still adults and 1 married, okay, if they still don't answer me right away, which it could take, they grown, I can't automatically make a report on them. However,
exactly,
they know if I don't hear nothing back in 2 hours, don't play with me. Because guess what?
Yep.
Don't make me fall up or don't make me sing.
Don't scare me. Don't scare me.
Because I don't care how old they think they are. I'm still your mother.
That's right. Don't scare me.
Don't play with me and have me work.
Don't worry me, because that's when I act out of character. When it has to be with my children.
It ain't no state big enough if you come for one of mine. And I would not be on camera. That's the last thing on my mind. I'm on a warpath. SWAT trying to find me, because I'm going to find mine and anybody that was with them last. I feel you. And that's why I love Precious Metal. You are on my side with my emotions and my feelings. That's why I'm still going to see, is it true or not, if this baby not from 4 to 7 gonna be where they said she at, or if they wait until tomorrow. I'm going, and I'm going to the trial for NaZiyah. This ain't play up in here.
Right. And I'm the same way with my nieces and nephews, though. Like, all of them, my little cousins, my nieces, my nephews. Like, I know what the world can do to people. Like, I don't know what everybody's city like, but, I grew up in Baltimore, and this a different animal. Like, I know people, read about it, see it in the blogs or whatever. But to live it, it ain't for everybody. It ain't for some of the people who actually live here. Shit, sometimes it ain't for me.
I believe it. And just like you said, every community and every state is not for everybody. I was raised by coastal a lot, because I shared earlier, I don't know if you were listening, about the fact that my father was brutally murdered. I was born in Detroit. Okay, born in Detroit. And I don't leave my Detroit native roots for nothing at all. I was forced to live by coastal, only because the adults here, it could make me leave. And as soon as they get me where else, I still get back home. And so but I knew how to maneuver. These children these days, they think they smarter than us. And like I said again, I'm not ashamed to say my age. I will be 55 years old in July. I'm a 70s baby. Okay, I done seen it, been there, lived it. My mother passed away in my arms, and my mother was the biggest crackhead you ever seen in your life. Only thing she didn't do was hoe. And I'm not saying that to try and make shit look good. Her neglecting ways
just stating facts
still fucked up me and my sisters. Okay, somebody had to be the survivor, and I'm the baby of them all, and I'm the survivor. My sisters don't live in reality. I do, and I always made sure I made it back home by any means necessary. And wherever I go, I'm gonna be, and ain't nobody gonna shut me down, because I ain't got nothing to do with nothing, except for if you start fucking with kids,
right?
Elderly, being out on people's necks. Anything else is a go.
Let me just slide in for a second. Pensy and Precious, I'm gonna drop y'all down, because talk with Prince want to tell her side.
Okay,
so I'll bring y'all back up. Let me just drop y'all back.
Good evening, Shank.
Good evening. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. So when I was about 7, I was sitting outside on like the brick walls in front of my house, and across the street from me, because I stayed in the hood, across the street from me was like a crack house. The man whistled at me and was trying to wave me to come here. So I went upstairs to the house and I got my dad and said, Dad, the man was whistling at me. So what my father did is went in the house and got his pew pew and went over there and shot through the door, shot through the house, pew pew through the house. He didn't ask no questions because he didn't care about that. So my mother came downstairs and says, "Hold on, wait a minute. Let's just beat him up." So I come from a generation of parents just like that. So when I see stories like these right here, it's just a trigger because that could have been me. If I wouldn't have went and told my father what was going on, it could have very well been me. And speaking from a person who dealt with, I keep hearing this word of drug abuse thrown around. That's not an excuse because my mother did drugs, but she didn't miss a beat. She knew where all 5 of her kids were at all times. It's baffling to me because that is not an excuse. And and people saying, "Oh well, we got to go take it back to when Jarvis was younger." Okay, yes, let's take it back to that. But at the same time, different parents are raised different ways, but it's still a trigger to the people that's like me that it could have been. It's a lot of people who it could have happened to them, but they was like, hold on, this is not right. But we gotta understand that every child was at my age around 7 or 8 won't go, it's not gonna think, well, that's not right. Well, this adult is an adult. Let's just go see what they want, and it could turn bad. But luckily, mine didn't turn bad, but it triggered me for a long time to actually be very cautious around every adult after that I came in contact with. Because I was scared, okay, this person might want me to come into, why do he want me to go in this house? Or why do he want me to go in this car? It's a trigger. And it started from there. So that's why these stories are very close to me and dear to me because it is a trigger, unfortunately. And I don't want people to think that, oh, drugs and things like that is an excuse because it's not. It really isn't.
Sorry that you had to, experience that. Mm.
So it is predators out there no matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're in the suburbs or you're in the hood. It's they're everywhere.
You're right. They're in the hood. They're in middle class. They're in the rich. Religious. No matter what walk of life, no matter what lane you're in, they are there. They are present. And it's
They
sad.
are.
It's sad because these children's innocence. Once a child's innocence is robbed, it's hard. It's hard to get that child back on track.
It is. It's very hard. I mean, like with me, yes, my innocence was taken when I was young by a family member. By my cousin, my innocence was taken. But I had to forgive that person so I could move on. Forgiveness wasn't for the person, it was for me. Did my parents believe me? Yes, they did. But before anything else happened further, my parents came to me, what do you want us to do? I said, I want you to leave him alone. And at this time I was about 13. I said, I want his gift to see me be everything that he thought I wasn't going to be.
That's the best kind of revenge. That's the best kind of revenge.
And that was the revenge that I got. So, I mean, so when I hear people throwing out about drugs and about, yes, it be your family that but you can love them from a distance. Because you can't change who your family is. But I will not hold grudges either. Can't hold that anger in because you can't heal. That's why I keep saying hurt people can't help people. Until you heal, you can't help people because you're going to bleed on them.
Amen. You're hurt. You bleeding.
You need assistance. You can't aid if you need aid yourself. But I just wanted to share my story. From even when I was a child, when a predator tried to get me into their home, and I went and got help. It didn't look right to me, so I went and got my father. And my father, rest his soul, he was the man that he should have been. A lot of people didn't have a father like that or a mother like that, but they showed up and showed out and protected me. My heart goes out to these kids because some of them don't have that. And we can't blame the kids. We cannot blame the kids. A lot of people want to switch narrative and say, oh, this kids was fast. No, no, no. Go on. I ain't buying it.
That's what I say. And even if the kid is fast, as an
It's
adult,
kid.
as an adult, it's your place to put that child back in the child's place.
That's right. That's
Nothing
right.
more, nothing
Nothing
less.
else.
If the child is fast, as an adult, it's your place, it's your duty to put that child back in his or her place.
It sure is. It is, and and then they get to saying, well, they was fast. Well, you as the guardian and the parent, you should have brought up that child. You should have taught that child, okay, this what you're doing. You shouldn't do this because of this. Set boundaries for that child. But I don't see no boundaries set in none of these cases at all, and it's sad. And most of the kids, and if you look at it, Shane, all of you, every case we see is somehow drugs is real. Hold on, y'all ain't gonna just blame it on drugs, okay? I ain't buying it.
Like for me, we all know right from wrong.
Right.
When God created us, when we were created, no matter what religious belief you had, God gave us the necessities for when we come into this world to be able to live a blessed life, a good life, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
It's us that makes the bad choices, poor decisions. It's us. But we all know right from wrong. A baby know right from wrong. At a certain age, that baby know right from wrong. So if the baby at a certain age know right from wrong, as adults, and I spoke with Pee Wee, Nikki Lynn, and the rest of the Rock Squad, and we chop it up about mental disorders, mental illness. In my opinion, a person can be diagnosed with a mental disorder, but that don't stop that person from knowing right from wrong. Like you
Yes,
said,
and I can confirm that I have a mental disorder, diagnosed with a mental disorder, and I live a functional, regular life.
there you go. A person can be on drugs. I know people on drugs. You know people on drugs that would do probably all of the above, but certain things
they ain't doing.
they ain't doing. They ain't doing. Now, I done been around some crackheads that'll steal the drawers off of you.
They ain't touching no, yeah, but they ain't gonna touch no child. No.
They ain't touching no child.
They'll steal from their mama before they touch a child.
They ain't touching no child.
They ain't doing that. Yeah, I have been, and with my career, be around a lot of different people, And a lot of them they'll do pretty much like you said, everything under the bubble. With kids, oh, they ain't doing it. They ain't doing it. They not doing it. So I just need these families to make it make sense, because it's not making sense to us at all.
Let me grab this comment from the chat real quick. Well, I'm 70 years old. I forgave grandfather. Said, okay, let me backtrack. Well, I'm 70 years old. I forgave. Grandfather said, keep it in the closet. Grandma said, write a book. Mother and auntie took me and my sister away. My mother's sons, but their father raped her.
Mm. Yeah. It's real out there, Shank. It's sad, and I only shared my story because I'm around the age of Big Backs, Shannon and Marquita. Okay, and even with that, I'm just trying to understand. Look, me and you, honey, we are not the same. We are not the same. What? At 13, I was telling mom, Daddy, this man right here whistled at me. What I supposed to do? Like, what? I didn't have to do nothing because my father did it for me. It's just like you keep saying, Shank and Miss Parker, it's bigger than what we really think it is.
It really is. Jarvis, he wouldn't have been able to operate. He wouldn't have been able to move if it was just about Jarvis. He wouldn't have been able to move.
Mm-mm.
He wouldn't have been able to go and skate past CPS. He wouldn't have been able to go and skate past the Detroit Police Department. He wouldn't have been able to go and skate past Miss Annette. Shannon, yeah. But if it wasn't bigger than Jarvis, he wouldn't have been able to skate past them.
Nope. He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have fell through so many cracks. He fell through a lot of cracks, not just one crack. He fell through many cracks.
Yes. Yes.
I ain't buying it. I ain't going. I ain't buying it. Somebody knows something. And I mean, the more and more they keep saying, they keep saying, go back and listen to this. And we go back and listen to it, and we pick apart the lies. When we pick apart what, hold on, you said this in this video. Y'all sitting on all these panels saying all these different stories, but the truth is in all them different stories. You just gotta listen. The truth is out there. You just gotta listen.
You gotta listen. And for the family of NaZiyah Harris, some of the family members, they want to come clean. Some of them. I'm sitting on some information. Some of the family members of NaZiyah Harris, they want to come clean. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to trust. They don't know how it's going to look for the other families. They don't know how the other families are going to take it. It's a couple of them that want to come clean and get it off of them because they know. They there. They was there. They were present. They didn't participate, but that's family. They can't go against family. It was done to them. It was done to them. So that's when the counselors come in. That's when therapy comes in. That's when somebody has to open up and somebody has to figure it out and say, you know what? The only way we're going to be able to put an end to this The only way we're going to be able to stop it, we can't put a Band-Aid on it. We got to go and we got to tackle this problem. And it's a problem. But we got to hit the problem head on. They want to talk. Jarvis want to talk. I peeped that. I believe in the second or third demonstration that I've done. Jarvis Butts wants to talk.
Yeah, he wanted to tell it all.
He wants to talk. Look at him. Just watch him. You can see him. Who he gonna tell? He knows, and the majority of us knows that he was framed. I ain't saying give him no green light. I ain't saying excuse him. Hell to the nah.
Oh no, Shank. I ain't trying to get none of them no grace. None of them.
Right. But hear me out. I'm into believing giving everybody their charge. When I was coming up, it was always take your charge. If we get locked up, and if it's your charge, take your charge. Don't push your charge on somebody else. Don't give nobody else your charge. So that's what I'm big on. I want everybody to be charged accordingly to what everybody done. If he ain't take her life physically, he's taken her life spiritually and mentally. But if he ain't take her life physically, I don't want to give him that charge. I want to give the person or persons that did take her life physical, I want to give them the charge. They want to talk. They want to talk. They ready to talk. Jarvis been wanting to talk. Who they going to talk to? Who they going to tell it to?
No, Shank.
The generational curse. I'm going to bring you back up, Precious. But the generational curse, you know, it's deep. It runs deep. The rabbit hole is deep.
It is. It is.
It's deep. And not to cut you off. So then you have these children, and these children may have behavioral problems. We take them to the doctors. The doctors don't know the trauma. Doctors misdiagnose them.
Because the kids are too scared to talk because they have been told not to talk.
They scared. They scared. Just imagine how NaZiyah felt. She was already scared. When you really, really look at the videos and you really, really zoom in, you could see. Because the day of her disappearance, or I believe the day before, she went to the counselor, right?
Yep. The day of.
The day of, was she balled up in the knot on the floor?
Allegedly, she was in pain.
She was in pain. She was ready to talk. But those monsters cut her short. And see, this is why Jarvis wants to talk. This is why certain family members in the family wants to talk, because they know, and they want to get it off of their chest. They want to talk. They know it shouldn't have never happened. Now, we can't bring NaZiyah back. And please don't throw nothing at me when I say that. But I've accepted the fact that she's no longer with us. For those that still feel like she is, keep feeling that way. Keep feeling that way. But where we're at now, we gotta put a stop, and we gotta make sure nobody else, no other children are hurt by those monsters.
Correct.
We gotta make sure that no other children is hurt by those monsters. I could give a damn about you monsters. But those that was preyed on and those that were hurt by the monsters, I care about y'all. But for you monsters, and you monsters know who y'all are, I could give a damn about you. Now, if you want to do the right thing, come up off the information where NaZiyah Harris is at, so NaZiyah Harris can have a proper burial. At least give her that. You ain't give her nothing when she was alive but a hard way. I know all about it. I told you I'm sitting on some information. So I know all about the hard times that y'all was giving her. I know which family members were giving her which hard times. So just come up off the information so the little young lady can have a proper burial. That's it.
And Shane, let me say this, okay? Everybody
Come
is, I seen a lot of people asking, well, where was NaZiyah at during the birthday party? Y'all remember NaZiyah was upstairs texting. NaZiyah sent the text and said, we about to cut the cake. NaZiyah was upstairs. That's why she wasn't in the video. Y'all pay attention, go back and look at it. That's why she wasn't in the video. That's where she was at. Upstairs texting Jarvis saying we about to cut the cake.
And he came in late.
Late as shoot. And all of them greeted him like he had been there, like he was used to being in there. Javista.
You see it? You see it?
Yep. And then Annette trying to move all the babies out the way so she can get to him. Like, what's going on? I ain't buying. What's going on? I ain't buying this. What is you doing, Annette?
Precious Metal.
And
She's still frying some fish. What you cooking, Precious Metal?
right, I want some.
Let me put it on mute.
Yes, I mean, in that same brush she got on the stand and said, "Oh no, he hardly ever came in my house." What?
Right. She beelined over to him like that was her man.
I'm trying to about to knock Shannon over. I know you lying.
Shannon didn't even say nothing.
Like Jarvis went room to room in the house.
Yeah.
He went room to room. All the kids' rooms, grandmama room, and the auntie room. And it's sad. Them kids that's in there, I can only imagine what they going through. But this is the thing. You said it's family members that want to say some shit though, right, Shank?
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine what the kids got to say? Can you imagine what some of them little kids would say to you if you get them by themselves and be like, and they can trust you? I know they know the ins and outs of everything. Them little kids know something. They being threatened. They being assaulted, all types of stuff to make sure, because I know that now at first they was probably being shushed, but now they really got, turning the screws on them. Like, oh, you better not, you know what I mean? At first it was one way, but now with NaZiyah and all the light on them, they really turning the screws on them kids.
Yes, Lord.
And if them kids are still in there after a certain amount of time, the system got something to do with this stuff too.
Yes.
Because they shouldn't be there. At least until NaZiyah is found. And this case is brought to the end. Them kids shouldn't be there.
I see you, Dana J. I see you, Dana J. Shout out to all my Baltimore people. I see you, Dana J. Is it any last words you want to say, Precious Metal, before we get out of here?
No, I just wish that, you know, things like this wouldn't happen. But I do want to say and reiterate, it's the grandmothers. Them grandmothers running around hot coochieing. It's them grandmothers wanting them young men. Whole time, them young men don't want your old ass. They want your little babies. And you willing to give it to them, long as they give you a little bit of that. Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, like, I don't get it. Like, it don't weigh the same. Dick in one hand, my baby in another. That shit don't even weigh. I can't even pick that shit up with my baby on the scale. Like, it don't even weigh. But I mean, everybody ain't gonna do right. That's sad. That's sad. But I mean, I'm glad you keeping a light on it, and I hope you can get them people to talk. You know what I mean? I hope you can get somebody to talk. I hope you can pull at one of them fucking strings, Shank, whereas though it just unravel that whole mess. Somebody gonna talk and make another person talk. I hope you can get
They want to talk. Like I said, they want to talk. They're this close. They want to talk, but it's going to be some repercussions. It's going to be a lot that's going to.
What bigger repercussion is there than another dead child?
Shout out to all my Baltimore people. Baltimore up in here deep. Shout out to all my Baltimore people. Let me make this quick announcement before we get out of here. If it won't be on this demonstration, but if you have been sexually assaulted and if you would like to come up and join me on a panel like Talk with Prince did to tell her story, feel free to join me on a panel. If you have a story that you need for me to cover, hit me up. My Instagram handle is ShankRock. So if
this is what I'm making. I'm making burgers, Shank.
That's cheese and onions.
It's just the cheese right now.
Yeah. That's what
they gonna add whatever they add on their sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm frying onions though.
Yeah, you throwing down. I seen the seasoned salt, the seasoned outside. I said, okay, she throwing down. Truly, Ashante was like, all right, Precious Metal up there frying fish. But we gonna have to get out of here, and I appreciate you for pulling up, Precious Metal. I'll see you later on this evening. I'm gonna do a Kimani demonstration later on today, probably around 10 o'clock. So I'll see everybody back at 10. Salute,
okay, that's what's
Metal.
up.
All right. Any last words before we get out of here? Talk with Prince.
No, sir. Just we just got to keep listening to what they're saying, and eventually we'll get the truth. That's all we doing is going off what they're saying. You know, just all the women in chat, just protect your babies, because it is a spiritual warfare on our babies out here. Just protect your kids. Know who you have your kids go around. Always leave that door open for them to talk. Because what I'm hearing is the kids didn't have a person they could truly go to and tell their truth to. That's pretty much it, Shane. Appreciate you for letting me come and tell my story.
Appreciate you talking with Prince. I'll see you later on, okay?
All right, man.
All right. Pretty says, I live in Detroit. Shank, they need to look on that east side. Shank, they not looking for her No one is, Shank, and it's sad. Allegedly, well, I'm not even going to say allegedly, but there's been speculations of her and body parts being in the basement. Some people say she's in the landfill. Some people say that she's been sold into a sex trafficking ring. I do have faith in those family members that is ready to come forward and tell us where NaZiyah Harris is. I do have faith. I do believe that Jarvis is definitely going to tell us what happened to NaZiyah. Now, we may be wrong. We may be wrong. From what I'm receiving, Jarvis did unalive NaZiyah. I don't believe it, but who am I? Who am I? But some things have came to me from a reliable source that claims that Jarvis did take NaZiyah Harris' life. However, we are going to wait. We're going to wait. I can't pronounce the word, but like I said, there are a lot of different theories on what happened to NaZiyah Harris. Certain family members, they know what happened to NaZiyah Harris. Certain family members know what happened. He's gonna wait until he is convicted to tell, because see, that's his trump card. That's his big joker. He knows if all fails, he knows that he can get a nice deal. He can cop out. He can cop out to a lesser sentence if he tells the authorities where her remains are at. We see this all the time. We see this all the time. Mr. Shank, I was feeling like Shannon had a part two. Just my thoughts, no disrespect. I feel like Shannon took her life. That's my feeling on it. I don't believe Jarvis took her life. I feel like Shannon took her life. And I feel like Annette covered it up. She helped cover it up. I feel like Shannon told Roxy the real story, and I feel like she decided to protect Shannon. Strong possibility. Strong possibility. I thought someone said River Road. True, Mr. Shank, so true. Rhonda says, I think so too. Lisa says, I absolutely agree. I'm sorry. Justin says, mine as well. What's done in the dark always comes to light. Jarvis should have never been let back out on the streets. And that was the problem. You know, that was the problem. And not alone let out on the streets, he was unsupervised. He was allowed to be around children. You know, see, Shannon, you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball, Shannon. You first dropped the ball when you laid down and had 5 babies by Jarvis Butts. That's where you first dropped the ball at. Jarvis Butts was a known serial child R-word. You dropped the ball by having 5 children by Jarvis. I'm proud to be a grandmother. I feel Shannon took her life. The fiance know it too, Shank. She claimed the car down. Yes. Eula's sister says law enforcement did shady work, I suppose. Hey, yes. All of them guilty, yes. She texts Roxy saying she is back, changing plans. Yes. I bet Derek Lee, Cordella Smith, and Jarvis are in the same area together. Yes. Why did the house burn down, and why did Shannon get rid of her car? Exactly. Shannon most definitely took her life. Once again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'll see y'all back tonight at 10. I'll see everybody back tonight at 10 p.m.
I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out. I like to place an order. Yeah. Hey, let me get a chicken box and a half and half. All right, good looking out.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
Switching lane.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
When I'm switching lane.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
I'm switching lane.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
But
before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright. Younger females like older men. So my smoothie is going to consist of
I'm switching lane.
a chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.
I'm switching lane.
A chicken box, a half and half when I'm switching lanes.